Oh my goodness, Bob, we're going on tour.
This is so exciting. Listen, y'all, tickets are available right this very second. Help us sell this tour out. Help us go bananas. So the next time y'all see us, we'll be at Madison Square Garden, Henny.
Hello, let me tell you something. This is the biggest tour Bob and I are doing. It's going to be great. Lights, camera, action, dancers, podcast, everything you want in a Bob and Monet show, you're going to get. So make sure you get your tickets at bobandmonet.com.
Oh, and there's also going to be brand new music. Ooh. All right, bobandmonet.com.
I said Beyonce got everybody out here thinking that they're unique. I mean, baby, it's not unique.
We are all unique.
But also the the irony of it is that saying like you're unique, but you're doing a trend that everyone else is doing. It's the irony of doing the trend of like I'm unique, but you're literally doing a trend that we're all doing.
I hear that, but you know the trend itself isn't the unique part. It's what you do outside.
I get
of the
it,
trend.
But the irony of doing this trend about being unique.
I feel like uniqueness was really a big thing when I was a kid. It was like telling everyone how unique they were, and everyone you're special and you're unique. It was when I was a kid, it was a huge thing in like the school's curriculum, making sure that we all knew how unique and how special we were. And then I remember being older and seeing a sticker at Hot Topic that said, "Remember, you're unique, just like everybody else."
I feel like that's a trend now. Like I feel like I hear a lot of people, because I have a lot of teacher friends, and they rant a lot.
Maybe the trend's not over. Maybe the trend's still going, or maybe the trend's coming back.
I didn't experience this unique thing. Everyone telling me I was unique in school by teaching. Maybe it was by schools I went to, but it was not baked into our. It was not baked into our curriculum to be told how unique and special we were.
Well,
maybe there was, but I just wasn't told. Didn't think I was unique.
5 years is quite a bit of difference in terms of schooling. I will say that a lot changes in 5 years, because like basically by the time you and I were never in any. I think at one point we may have been in elementary school at the same time. But outside of that, by the time I get out of elementary school, middle school, there's a whole new group of people in middle school by the time you came in. No one from when I was in middle school was there when you were there, unless they just were held back.
Would you ever, if you were to have children, would you ever think about homeschooling?
No, never, not once. Never would I homeschool my children.
Why?
Well, I don't have the time, the desire, and I think that you can get a much better education if you're being schooled by a professional. Maybe if I was a professional educator, yeah, but being an educator is it's not something you just do on your own. You can do it on your own, but I mean, I think there's
a lot of people do.
Yeah, sure. That doesn't make it great. A lot of people also smoke crack. I think that there is a reason why people get do lots of training, higher education, continued learning, just in order to learn how to be a teacher and learn how to educate people. And I take it real seriously.
I think that people choose homeschooling for different reasons. One, financial reasons. One, especially now where you see people are forced.
What do you mean financial reasons? What does that mean?
Sometimes you can't afford, because some schools don't have school lunch and stuff like that. And it's easier to have your kid.
What did you say?
Like it's easier for some people to have their kid at home as opposed to sending them to school with like lunch money and buying them food and stuff. Where you can just have them at home, and it may be easier. You can have like all this like cooked food. I don't know, but I know
every public school in America offers free lunch for people who don't have a lot of money.
Not for like charter schools.
Public schools, yes, public charter schools offer free lunch. I used to work at one.
But I know that there are financial reasons. I don't know what they are, but there are financial reasons that people do public school. Do homeschool. And also just in today's climate, it is people are scared to send their kids to school. They're like, I'm going to homeschool my kids because that is a surefire way. Oh, not use the word fired. That is a guaranteed way that I know that my kids will be alive because the mystery, the miscellaneous of sending them to a public school that they may be killed by trying to get education. So I think there are a lot of reasons why people choose homeschooling. I would never homeschool. I would be a horrible homeschool parent. I would be a horrible. I mean, unless I was teaching my kids music all day, it was just music all day. It'd be great, but have to teach my kids math, arithmetic. Girl,
Homeschooling your
no.
kids sounds more expensive than sending them to school. I think you have to buy the textbooks. Like you have
But
to
they're
have
different.
one. You have to
No,
have
they're
one parent
different.
you have to have a parent who's not working. You have to have or someone who or at least works from home. You have to have someone who can dedicate 8 hours of their day just to teaching your child, which means they're earning less income than having a full-time job. I
But a lot
don't
of
know that
people
there's a lot
a
of
lot of people
financial
do
benefits to
do
homeschooling your children.
a lot of people who do homeschool, there's a parent who's already a homemaker. Like there's a parent who stays home. Like only one parent works and one parent stays home. So that parent who's staying home take up um the mantle of homeschooling a kid. I just
I just
don't
feel like
feel
it'd
like
be. I
it
feel
would.
like if you're really concerned about money. I mean, I don't know, teach their own. But I feel like if you're really concerned about money, you instead of saving money by not sending your kid, which you send your kid to school, you'd make more money by having the other parent go find part-time work.
Or after COVID, a lot of people do like multiple kids. Like the one homeschooling lady, she'll have like multiple kids. She'll homeschool multiple kids from her neighborhood, from their community, and then those parents end up paying that person whatever it is. So it ends up being, I mean, I don't know how legal that
So
is.
like private school, like
It's not
an
private school.
unaccredited private school. If you're paying a random person to teach your kids, that's like unaccredited private school. That's
Yeah, and it's probably not legal, but I have a few friends, especially when people didn't want to vaccinate their kids. I have some old friends on Facebook, girl. They were like, I'm not vaccinating my kid. So they had in like the neighborhoods in Queens and Brooklyn, whatever, they'd have one house and they would send the kids to that house. And now they weren't like past middle school age, just like elementary and younger. So, but it still seems, I just feel like homeschool,
just a whole bunch of
kids,
unvaccinated kids hanging out in one room together.
kids don't get to be social at home as much, and they like I am very grateful for my public school. And so when I went to school in St. Lucia, that was private school, and then when I went to school in America, it was public school. And I think public school is great. But also when I in school in St. Lucia, it was like we had like corporal punishment. Like teachers would beat the shit out of you. Like teachers would get a ruler and fuck you up.
You had corporal punishment?
Yeah, for sure. Like when we would have recess and I would like run around and I would get sweaty and I would do stuff. And then when we would come back from recess, I was always a sweaty person. We'd come back from recess and my school shirt would be soaking wet. And the teacher would be like, Kevin, why are you sweating? Why are you soaking wet? I was like, oh, because I was like playing at recess. And I would get beat for being too sweaty after recess. Isn't that crazy?
It sounds like child abuse, yes.
Girl. I don't know. I don't know. Corporal punishment is still a thing, but maybe I don't know.
It is. I went to a school that had corporal punishment.
Really?
Yes, I did.
I feel like I knew this, but I'm still shocked.
You went to school with corporal punishment? Why are you so shocked that I went to school?
I know, kids, but it's in America though. I feel like I didn't know that was. I think like I thought they outlawed that in America, like in like the 80s or something, like federally.
Not. I went to school that it was the 90s, and it was in Mississippi. You could not do corporal punishment in Georgia, but in Mississippi, and at least in the 90s, you could. There was corporal punishment, and you would get your knuckles racked. You get hit with a belt. You'd get kind of basically whatever form of punishment the teacher deemed appropriate, and it would be right in front of the class. Everyone would see you get it done. Everyone would watch, and it wasn't just like by the side. It was like, everyone look up here now. I'm gonna hit this person's knuckles, and yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, corporal punishment is wild. But yeah, the social skills that you learn, I feel, from public school and being amongst other kids, I think is very important, and I'm very grateful.
If I could, I would send my kids to a private school. If I could afford it and it made sense with our schedule and stuff, I would send my kids to a private school.
Would you ever do boarding
That's what
school?
I want to do. No, I wouldn't want to do boarding school. My niece is in boarding school right now.
Really? On Nevaeh?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
I mean, somewhere in Maryland. I don't know.
Oh wow. Boarding school. I just feel like your kid is gone for so long. You don't see them except for like breaks. I would be so sad. I would miss my little baby.
Jacob went to boarding school.
Jacob did go to boarding school. Oh gosh. if I was sent to boarding school, I would have loved to be sent to boarding school back in my home country in England, not in America.
In the UK.
You hear that a lot. What's it? Lady Bunny went to boarding school in the UK.
Oh, did she?
She did.
Lady Bunny is a very interesting person. She's so interesting. She went to a Quaker school just like Jacob and Ezra.
Ezra went to boarding school too? Damn, y'all niggas got money.
Jacob and Ezra both went to Quaker school. And it probably was an expensive school. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was not cheap. And also, Lady Bunny lived in Africa for like several years. She's just so interesting.
Yeah.
The UK. What?
So what subject did you struggle in the most in school?
Math. Always math. Every time math. Never not math. Every time it was math. Nonstop. Math was horrible. I was very, very bad at math. And my teacher, the math teachers always gave the most homework, and I hate homework. So
why do you hate homework?
Because I don't want to fucking do work from. I don't want to do this shit when I'm gone. Like I just my brain doesn't work that way. Like I just can't do it. Like when I get home, I just cannot sit down and do my homework. I just can't. It feels like I literally can't do it. And when I sit down, the paper feels like it is 1,000 miles long. And as I'm like doing it, I get so anxious. My body starts tingling. And the closer I get to the final one, my handwriting starts getting sloppy. I started like fucking up the numbers, everything. I just can't. I just didn't have the capacity to do homework.
I was good at math. I wasn't like terrible. I was like fine. But when it really got fucked up was when we got the motherfucking Texas Instrument calculators with the cosine, the tangent, the sine. And I was like, what? And this shit that I have never used in my adult fucking life. Not a single day on this planet since I passed that class in fucking freshman year have I ever had to tangent or cosine a fucking thing.
You could have actually used a lot of it for sewing.
But I didn't sew.
You could have used a lot of geometry. You've sewn. You have sewn.
Yeah, but I sewed it.
I would say you sew more than most people. Even though you don't do it a lot now. In your lifetime, you've sewn more than most people will ever sew.
Maybe. That's debatable. But again,
is it?
I have done.
How many outfits do you think you made
in my life?
Yeah, like if you had to guess, do you think you made more than 20?
Yeah, I was like more than 20.
Do you think you made more than 30?
Yeah, more than 30?
Yeah, do you think you made more than 30?
No.
If I would venture to say that if you've made more than 20 outfits, you've sewn more than most people in the world. If you in the comments below and you have sewn less than 20 outfits, comment below. Say, I've sewn less than 20 outfits. And I think you know that you just want to argue. You just want to argue.
Well, I think that it also has to do where we live in the world, right? In St. Lucia, a lot of people sew. Like,
aren't you from St. Lucia? Were you sewing? Did you make 20 outfits?
Hold on, can I finish? In St. Lucia, a lot of it's like my dad knows how to sew, as my uncle sews. My dad knows how to sew. My uncles know how to sew. It's like a thing. It's not like there's this feminine thing or whatever. Like it's just kind of something everyone learns how to do, so that you can fix your pocket or you can do this. So I think
you think your dad's made over 20 outfits?
Maybe not 20 outfits, but he definitely sewed a lot of things. I don't know how to quantify all the things that he's done, because if you're just counting it as making outfits, that's not just all sewing encompasses. Sewing is when you can fix a shirt, when you can hem a pants or whatever. Like that's all sewing included.
I would agree with that, but I would say that sewing a pair of pants, sewing a dress, quantifies as a lot more sewing than sticking on a button. I would say sewing a dress quantifies as a whole lot more sewing than fixing a pocket.
But
I'll leave it at this. If you probably think you've sewn less than 20 outfits, or if your pocket stitching and your sock darning has equaled less than 20 outfits, comment below.
No, you're saying if it's more.
No, if it's less, I'm saying you sow because you're gonna get more comments from people sowing less because there are more people like that.
And if you've sewn a lot, and we're not just talking about if sewing a dress or a gown or a leotard or catsuit. If you have hem pants, if you have ripped your pants, or you have stitched it up, whatever, that counts as sewing too. And if you've done it more than 20 times, comment below.
And I would say even if more people in St. Lucia are sewing than people in America, the sheer number of people in America.
I'm not just saying St. Lucia. I'm just saying we have a skewed view of it because we're America. But in a lot of other countries, and in a lot of the Caribbean, in the UK,
Monet, you are arguing for Asia, the sake of arguing, and I will not engage with this.
That is my point, bitch. Just because you don't want to talk about it, that's your fucking problem, honey. I'm just saying, in America, sure, but in Asia, in Southeast Asia, in the Caribbean, in other places, a lot of people do that. It's just not an American thing. Everyone is not learning how to do that skill of learning how to sew.
You know this about Southeast Asia? You know that a lot of people in Southeast Asia sew?
I don't know it for sure, but it may be true. I don't know.
Well, you said it.
So if you are Southeast Asian and so basic sewing skills is something that you learned how to do growing up, comment below as well.
Do you feel good that you got that off your chest?
I do. Do you feel good that you got your sewing off your chest?
Sure.
Good.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break. I'll break your legs, nigga. You're gonna sleep with the Fishers, Tony. Did you watch The Sopranos?
No, not a single episode.
Yeah, I did. My brother was a big Soprano watcher. And it was like a cultural moment. Like The Sopranos was like a very good show, a very big show. That was a cultural moment. Oz was a cultural moment. I used to watch a lot of Oz secretly, especially when they would have like prison scenes where you would see someone's dick or someone was doing something with someone in a cell. I was like, oh my God, this is so homoerotic. I used to love Oz. Adebisi. Oh my God, Adebisi was hot.
I did not watch a lot of Oz. I think I may have watched 1 or 2 episodes of Oz when I was younger. But no, I was not. I just wasn't into that show. I also didn't have HBO or Showtime or whatever came on. I didn't have any like super extended, deep, extra pay channels. So I was like, if it ain't on basic cable, I do not got it.
Well, you know what's about to be on basic cable, bitch. We're the Queen's funeral. They're gonna shut basic channels down for that day. From sunrise to sunset, we will be hearing all about the Queen and her funeral. And I'm saying that funeral is about to be probably all the pomp and circumstances going to be around it, and all the things, all the rituals and all the ceremonies and all the things. It's going to be wild. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like.
Well, I think when a royal dies, and I'm actually sure that when a royal dies, it does become world news, especially the head of the monarchy. You know, the oldest living monarch in British history. Mm-hmm. The Queen was 96 years old when she passed away. And now there's a King of England.
King Charles II or the Third?
I'm not sure. Which feels really interesting to say the King of England, because that sounds like such an old term, because pretty much everyone living alive, almost every single living person right now, very few people have ever lived without the Queen of England. Very few people have ever lived in a world where the Queen of England didn't exist. Well, actually, everyone literally not alive now, literally everyone living now, but like pretty much no one has memories pre-Queen Elizabeth, because she was 96 years old and she assumed the crown at a very young age. And there's a massive discourse on Twitter right now, because Twitter and TikTok, because a lot of people, especially a lot of Black people, are making a lot of jokes about the Queen of England passing. And a lot of people are being like, it's super, super sensitive, and like never speak ill of the dead. Do you believe in never speaking ill of the dead?
I don't agree with never speaking ill of the dead. They were alive and died just like a lot of people on this earth have, and a lot of us will. And I don't think you get bad juju, bad karma about speaking ill of that. I don't prescribe to that.
I thought it was just like respecting. I don't think it was about like bad karma. I think it was just like a respect thing. Don't speak ill of the dead because they're dead. Like, give them respect. They're dead.
Some people. I mean, I grew up. If you talk ill about someone who's dead, like they'll like come back to haunt you or like stuff like that. But
Oh, when I grew up, it was just that it's disrespectful. Like that was when I grew up. It wasn't about it being haunted, or it was just like, if you speak ill of the dead, it is a disrespectful thing. Don't do it.
I'm pretty sure she's like the second longest monarch of all time.
She's the longest monarch in the UK. Like,
yeah, but she's like the
British
second
monarchy.
of all time. Someone else is longer than her. I don't know if they're British. Yeah, not a British. There's some other country that's like longer. Someone reigned for longer than 70 years, which sounds crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't. My earliest memory of the Queen of England, I don't know, was when Diana died. Because I remember when Princess Diana died, it was 97. I remember my dad like putting it up on the screen and like watching like all the stuff. And I remember her giving her remarks about it. So that's like my like first conscious memory of Queen Elizabeth and being aware of who or what she is. Even though St. Lucia is a Commonwealth of the UK, we don't have any. There's nothing that we do about the Queen, like any type of reverence, ceremonial, anything about Queen Elizabeth. So that's the only thing.
Doesn't she have like official like properties and governmental properties in St. Lucia? She has to. The royal palace has, like, any place they have a Commonwealth, they have like a property in those places.
I'm sure they have a property, but there's nothing that is revered or people that's like common knowledge in St. Lucia that people are like, oh yeah, the Queen's like, it's not. She is on the currency.
Yeah, she's on the currency of a lot of countries, including Canada, Australia, St. Lucia, lots of African countries. And they're changing that now. You know, pretty much as soon as the Queen or whoever the head dies, you change the money immediately. So they're going to start putting King Charles on the money. Like, so basically the next money that rolls out, King Charles is going to be on St. Lucian money now, which is so interesting to me.
That is so wild.
Because Queen Elizabeth has been on so much money for so long, it's about to be King Charles. And also, there was like apparently like every newscaster and like news anchor in the UK, they all keep like a black suit and tie in their desk for when the Queen passes, so that they can report on it.
In the UK?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and stuff about it, and Sunny Hostin on The View like had like a really like scalding take on it about the Queen Elizabeth, and her sentiment was basically like, yeah, the Queen, it's sad that she passed, but you know, she represents a really toxic and, you know, poisonous monarchy. She was like, she was a figurehead, and in her time she did not do nearly a lot or anything really about changing the really torrid history of the UK and the monarchy that is the British Empire. And go ahead.
I don't know what Queen Elizabeth did to change the history of what they've done. I have no clue, because I know very little about the royal family, but I do know that the royal family has a negative impact on a lot of people of color, specifically Africans and Asians around the world, and you know, truly threw a lot of countries into a lot of poverty. And you know, I don't think she did a whole lot. I don't know. I literally can't speak to what she did, because I don't know a lot about that. I'm never one of the folks who like watches Tudor or any kind of
The Crown. Me either. Yeah.
I've never watched. I just never really been terribly interested in any of the royal family. But you know, I do imagine it is very sad for Queen Elizabeth. I'm sure that it is very sad for a lot of people. You know, I think no matter who dies, someone's going to be sad. You know what I mean? Someone was sad when you know, some other bad person was killed. You know what I mean? But I think that to condemn people who aren't sad seems a little bit wild to me.
Yeah, Sunny wasn't condemning people. She was just saying like her.
No, not Sunny. I'm talking about people. Okay. Not Sunny. I'm talking about people who there's some people who are like, maybe some royalists who are like, how dare you say anything about this? She was she was like the queen, and she was a world leader, but also like, Americans have, bitch, we don't revere our own leader.
Right. We're not revering.
We don't revere our own leaders. I don't know why y'all thought America was about to start revering leaders from around the country. I mean, from around the world.
Yeah.
Like, girl.
I will say this, it is like, so there's this, there's this movement to get a lot of the art, culture, and artifacts that reside in some British museums and etc. that belong to the countries that were stolen from other countries. Like a lot of the crown jewels and things that are, that are in possession of the royal family. They're like, give those back to Africa where you got them from. And it's like so crazy to me because, again, we all know that it was stolen. We all know how they got it. And then they're just like, no, we're not giving it back. It's like the whole world has a consciousness of where this stuff came from and how it came to be. And they're really like, please give it back to where it came from. And the royal family was like, no, we're not going to.
I don't think it's that crazy because, I mean, would America ever give the land back to the indigenous people here? That's no different.
Right.
I mean, the very land that you and I are occupying right now would never be given back for any reason. Entire Canada, all of Canada, every country where they speak Spanish and it's not Spain has been incredibly colonized.
Stolen.
Spanish is not a language native to anywhere outside of Europe. The only place Spanish is native to is Europe. Anywhere they speak English, Spanish, or French that is not in Europe has been colonized. So I guess it to me, it doesn't seem too odd that they're not going to give back the jewels, because I know that America's never going to give back this land. They're never going to do that.
We should really fucking just to fucking stir some shit up. Like, get people to, because I mean, I know you've done some work with indigenous peoples in the Americas, but I feel like there has to be like more to do, and like to do it effectively, and like make ways, like make shit the fuck happen.
The only way that America, I mean, it's in my opinion, it is, this is my, I don't know a whole lot about it, but it is so far gone. There is nothing America can do. If America, just for whatever reason, decided to randomly give back all of this land to indigenous people, the indigenous people wouldn't even have the resources to maintain,
to sustain it. Yeah.
To sustain it. It is so far gone. It is beyond. They will never do restorative justice. They won't do it for indigenous people. They won't do it for black people. They won't do it for anyone, because they're so far gone now. Yeah, I was really intrigued by America being like, we don't have enough money for reparations, but all of a sudden during COVID, they had enough money to give everybody a couple $1,000s. I was like,
bitch, we just gave Ukraine what happened? I thought you said, hold on a second. Bitch, we just gave Ukraine like a $19.4 billion. You know what I mean? And again, we represent a stolen people on a stolen land. So it's like, it's literally just a cycle of shit that it's like shit piled on top of shit. It's like how do you get to the bottom of it? I agree, we are too far gone to get to the bottom of it. But I think there are still some strides. There's something we can do, because again, we always find money for war. War is the thing we never not have money for. Everything else, like, we can't do student loan debt all the way though. We can't do reparations. We can't get we just don't have the money to help out the indigenous people. But bitch, war. Oh, here's $2.5 trillion. Let's do it. Like, we always find money for war.
I still think that reparations should be paid by any business that thrived off a fruit of the loom. I don't know if they were alive, if they were in business at the time, but any company that made money off of slave labor, if it is still around, they should be, in my opinion, ordered to contribute to reparations to descendants of American chattel slavery. That is my opinion. Because otherwise you'll be asking black people to pay taxes to pay themselves back.
Reparations, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what do I fucking know? That's just what do I know? So I guess that I mean, it would be a great symbol to give back those artworks, and I think it would make sense to give back this art and these jewels to these countries. But I think that it is, to me, that's just a symbol. It merely be symbolic. Yes, it does have monetary value, but I think that the restorative justice needed to uplift these communities goes far beyond. And I don't work in restorative justice, so I would not know even where to begin. I wouldn't want to know where to start, begin, or end to restore justice to any of these places, including if you ever go to a reservation, it is so wild because you can see where the tax dollars stop. Mm-hmm. Literally, as you're driving,
I've never been to a reservation.
It feels like someone drew a line across the highway and across the land. You can literally see where they stop picking up trash. I'll tell you more about it in a second.
Let's take a break.
All right, love. Listen, if you're a fan of it, sushi is incredible, but gas station sushi, not so much. Finding the right sushi makes all the difference. And the same goes for finding the right doctor. Segue! With ZocDoc, you can find the right doctor for you in your network and your neighborhood. One that makes you feel like you're in good hands. You're supported and you're heard, even if you're telling them about your favorite sushi place. ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them.
On ZocDoc, you can find every specialist under the sun, whether you're trying to straighten those teeth, fix an achy back, get that mole checked out, or get a new podcast partner. Anything, you can find it on ZocDoc. ZocDoc's mobile app is as easy as ordering a ride to a restaurant or getting delivery to your house. Search, find, and book doctors with a few simple taps. Find and review local doctors, read verified patient reviews from real people who made real appointments. Now, when you walk into the doctor's office, you're going to be all set to go, baby. You're going to see someone in your network who gets you. They understand you and what you need.
Go to ZocDoc.com, find the doctor that's right for you, and book an appointment in person or remotely that works for your schedule. Go to ZocDoc.com/rivalry and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/rivalry. ZocDoc.com/rivalry. All right, I'm back. You can literally see where they stop picking up trash. You can see where they stop fixing the road. You can see the buildings immediately in a second change once you cross over that county line.
Yeah, I've never been. I would actually like to go. I mean, yeah, you have to be invited to go to a reservation. You can't just go on your own. You have to someone has to bring you to a reservation, correct?
I don't know. I was invited, so I don't know for sure that you have to be invited, but I know that I was invited.
Have you seen the pictures of like Meghan and Harry going, and like a lot of the pictures they're posting it's like you see like Meghan and Harry body language analysts the fuck body language analysts are like looking at like Meghan and Harry and how William and Kate are behaving, and Meghan is constantly like with Harry, like trying to like not console him because he's not distraught, whatever. But she's
he
like
might
being
be distraught. His grandmother is dead,
right?
So but, he might be distraught.
But Kate and William, every and again, this may be just the media because the media is fucked up too. The media just showing us the things that we to portray these stories. But William and Kate, the pictures of them, they're never together. Like they're like Kate is never like next to him, like holding hands or anything. They always like bitch on opposite sides of the screen. It's kind of wild.
Well, I think people mourn differently. Mm-hmm. I was big shout out and sending some healing energy to Mama Deb, Shangela's mother, who is recently had a cancer scare. And Shangela shared that this morning and also congratulations to Shangela for making it on Dancing with the Stars.
I know. Shangela, congratulations.
You know they would get a tiny drag queen to put on their honey because my big ass, imagine my big ass was on Dancing with the Stars. But watching Shangela talk about her mom being, it really just kind of fucked me up this morning. I was on the couch and watching. I was like, "Oh my god! If this happened to my mom again, it would just really."
Your mom had a cancer scare before?
My mom didn't have a cancer scare, but she had to get chemotherapy because of her sickness. But chemotherapy treats more than just cancer,
right?
But when you find out that your parent might pass away because of an illness, it is so scary. It is really, really scary. And you never know how you're gonna act. You never know how you're gonna act. I always think I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do if if my mom dies before me. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know how I'll react. I don't know. I have no clue. I can't even fathom. I'll be a mess. I don't know if I want to be around people. I don't know if I want to be by myself. I have no clue. I'll be a mess. I know that.
And these kids, they Prince Harry and William, they had to see their mom die, and then now they've had to see their grandmother die. I would reckon most of us go into life like thinking that you're probably going to see your grandparent pass away. Like that's like
that seems pretty common.
Yeah, but I just for these are kids, and anyway, and then all the pictures of Prince Charles. Have you seen these images of his like giant fingers? Have you seen this?
King Charles.
Have you seen this man's hands?
I've not. Does he have huge hands?
Bob, I gotta show it to you right. I was showing it to someone earlier. King Charles hands. Or just Google King Charles hands. It's gonna come up.
I'm Googling. Does he have big hands or something?
Them things look like he's near death. Like
they're all like sausagey.
And his toes too. Look at that pinky. Look at that pinky.
Well, Monet, there's two things. One, he is incredibly old.
How old is he?
How old is King Charles?
78, I'm guessing.
She said 23. That's not true.
Is he? Well, he looks terrible. He's 73 years old.
Yeah, King Charles is a very old man. And he probably has a host of health issues. And the royal family is like notably like there's a lot going on with their bloodline. There's some funky business going on with the royal bloodline. There is some oddness going on with the royal bloodline.
Girl. Well, I posted on my Twitter. I was like,
well whatever they got, it lets them live long. Whatever mutation they got, them niggas be living long as hell. 96 is old. That is very old.
My grandmother is 89.
That is old. That is old. 89 is old. Old is not an insult. It's just a descriptive word.
My grandma. Yeah, I know my grandma. This old, but she's completely aware of her faculties. Like she cooks. She like, oh my God, I had to show you a little video of my grandmother. We call her Mammy.
Mammy?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have the same connotation like in America.
If you call somebody in my family Mammy, bitch, it would be a fight. If you call my Aunt Hazel I'm trying to imagine you calling my Aunt Hazel Mammy. Oh, but I am so uncomfortable.
There she goes. Come on. She thinks Colleen is I showed her a picture of Colleen when I went down there. She's like, Kevin, what's that? I was like, it's my cat, Mammy. She's like, that thing ugly? I was like, oh my God.
My mother also thinks your cat is very ugly too. My mom goes, Monet still got that old ugly cat? And I say, yes, she does have that old ugly cat.
Well, Colleen is very beautiful.
My father's grandmother, when she was toward the end of her life, she was not a whippersnapper. She was bedridden for like the last probably 20 years of her life, maybe more, and just completely senile. I do not have high hopes for my mental health for later years of my life, because if my family on both sides has any indication, bitch, I'm gonna be loopy by the time I'm 60. I'm gonna be gone, honey.
Bob,
nutty.
Bitch, you're already loopy. You're already fucking nutty.
Who are you? And who are you?
I will say this: people in my family live very old. People in my family live very long, but also people in my family live very long. But I have very I was talking to Dewan today. We're talking about how I forget stuff, and he was like, Kevin, you've always been that way. Like we were reminiscing about old college times, and since I've been 19, 18, I have very bad memory, and I am knocking on all the wood that I pray that I don't have like Alzheimer's and dementia, because I see like these videos of TikToks of like dads or like older people, and they are going through Alzheimer's or dementia, and they have no idea who these people are, and like I'll be talking to you, and you're my friend Bob, and I love you, and I'm like I know I love you, but I don't know you. Like, to me, that seems so sad, and I don't want that to happen. But I have such a bad memory, I get so scared that's gonna be me.
You know, they can detect Alzheimer's very early, very, very
But
early.
can you fix it? It's not fixable, right?
I think I don't know. I saw a thing somewhere that said that you actually can treat it, but most people don't treat it because they never know they have it. And by the time you show signs, you're done. You're done.
Really? Okay. Yeah. What's the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia?
It's Alzheimer's, not Alzheimer's.
I know Alzheimer's. ALZHI. I just pronounce it how I pronounce it. Alzheimer's. What's the difference between the two?
Well, you can get dementia from a lot of different things. Alzheimer's is a condition itself, whereas you can get dementia from having something else. Like, there's something called AIDS dementia, where like the sickness infects your brain. Like, you can have dementia from cancer. You can have dementia from trauma. You can have dementia from like lots of different things. Whereas Alzheimer's is its own.
Alzheimer's is a type of dementia.
Yeah, but Alzheimer's has dementia. You get dementia from Alzheimer's. So you have like Alzheimer's dementia, and then you can get dementia from other stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, Alzheimer's is the most common cause of dementia. Yeah, I mean, bitch, I'm gonna start doing those tests, like, bitch, every 2 years, because my memory is a mess.
You can get dementia from a lot of different stuff.
Right.
So you got to test it all.
Damn.
Syphilis gives you dementia.
This is true. We need to. Do you get colon cancer screenings? Like, we're at the age. We're approaching 40, girl.
I am.
Well, you were more than me.
I think 50 is the age we start getting colon cancer.
No, 40.
Is it? Well, I am not 40, and I've never had a colon cancer screening.
I want to start getting a colonics. I heard colonics are so good for you. They're like so good, colonics.
What do you mean so good?
Like, you just like they put the
I've heard they can be quite dangerous for you.
Dangerous? Why? Because it's too much water?
No, I think that like a lot of the stuff that your body creates, you need it in there. Like, you need that stuff. You need those enzymes. You need the bacteria. Who, me? Yeah, the colonics are good for you. They're so good for you.
I'm on colonic TikTok.
Well, that is not a university.
Colonic TikTok, girl.
I'm on colonic TikTok. Well, I've seen a lot of doctors being like, colonics can be quite bad for you because you need the bacteria and the stuff that your colon creates. You need that. And you also need poop in your body. Like, do you know that like there are poop implants or poop transplants you can get? Did you know about this?
No.
They will take someone else's poop, put it in your colon, and it will like clean you, and it will like fix you.
Well, I mean, I think colonics are bad if you because I've heard of people who get them, especially bottoms, who get them like once a week. That's probably bad. But if you get like a colonic a year, I don't think that, or every couple of years, I don't think that's bad. But I have seen and heard of bottoms who are like, oh yeah, bitch, I get one every week, and I'm like, that doesn't seem healthy. Because also, you're drinking that fucking liquid. You have to drink that thing like for a whole day to get. That sounds crazy.
Your personal objective will determine how many colonics you should have. To begin with, it is generally recommended to have 3 sessions within 10 to 14 days, period, to maximize results and clean. This is from gutfithealth.com, which anyone who says gut health, something about that word I don't trust. That is a red flag. The word gut is a red flaggy term for me if a healthcare practitioner says gut.
But your gut health is like this stuff. What do you mean? Why is it weird for you? It sounds weird to you?
It sounds like a word. Like, I would like for my doctor to use words like colon, large colon, small intestines, large intestines. I don't think being like your gut. Something about that just sounds like someone who read some books and watched some TikToks. I'm not saying that is what it is, but something about someone being like, yeah, you got a leaky gut, bitch. What the fuck are you talking about? That's not no. What part of my gut? My small intestines, my large intestines, my colon? What? What do you mean my gut? My stomach? What do you mean my gut? What the fuck does that mean? You got a leaky gut? Hell to the no.
Are you okay? So, are you sad? Like personally, are you personally sad about the Queen dying, or
No,
do you feel
not.
anything about anything? Any feelings?
I'm not sad. I am. I am. It feels odd that there's not a Queen of England. Like I don't have any memories. I don't have any memories that don't include the Queen of England. Like I've
Mm,
always known about the Queen of England.
yeah.
Always, as long as I've been alive, and as long as my mom has been alive, and as long as her mom was alive. Like the Queen of England is. She was just so. The Queen of England was born before my grandma. Born
Mm.
before my mom's mom. You know what I mean? Who died like 40 years, not 40. Ooh, that's not true. I just made that up. 30 something years ago. 29 years ago. 1994. 28 years ago. Um, so I'm not particularly sad. I mean, I don't like seeing other people sad, you know. But I'm also not really on the social media people who are like truly. I mean, no, I've seen a few people like post like things about her. I think I just don't know enough about the Queen of England to be particularly sad about it. But I do think it is sad that people are sad, if that makes any sense. How
The
about you? Are
fucking
you sad
meat.
about it?
No, I don't feel any types of way about it. I'm like, okay. Um, I'm so far removed from that. I'm not obviously not a monarchist at all. That's not my thing. Um, a lot of that because I'm American. I've never, but yeah, I don't feel any types of ways about it. I do think the memes about all the fucking memes of Meghan Markle going to how she's gonna be at the funeral and Meghan Markle finding the news. That shit is funny.
I haven't
That
seen.
shit is funny.
I haven't seen those. I've seen a lot of memes about Princess Diana waiting for her at the pearly gates. I've seen a lot of
Yes.
those.
This is what my friend Kenna, who is very so it says Meghan Markle giving remarks at the funeral.
I can't see it. What is it? Can you explain it to me? Oh my God. She might be the only black person. She might be the only black person at the whole fucking ordeal.
No, Bob.
Oh, you think
She
all
will
the Queen's
not
other
be.
black friends hanging out? All her other black friends coming? Just the
There's
reams of
a
black friends she got?
there's that one of that girl from Bad Girls Club like keeping that one girl out the room, and it's like Princess Diana not letting the queen into the pearly gates. That shit is so funny.
I think. Do you know if the Vivian is a royalist?
She's I don't know. Should we call her? Should I call her on WhatsApp really quick?
I mean, I feel like
Oh yeah, it's late over there.
yeah. I also feel like calling people from the UK and being like, "The Queen's dead. How do you feel?" It seems messy. It seems like it because if she is sad, I don't want to like call her up and be like, "Hey, you're mourning. How is that?"
I mean, I posted on my Twitter. I said, "Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth II. How are Brits doing?" And I will say, it is just, my comments. My comments. It's all over the place. Every it's all over the place.
If Whoopi Goldberg died, I would be very sad. I would be very sad. I mean, like I would be incredibly
Inconsolable.
sad. I don't know about being consolable, but I'd be very sad. I would probably cry. I would cry. If Whoopi Goldberg died, I would cry. 100%. I don't know that I would want anyone calling me, but I'd be like, I am sad. So that's why I don't want to like. People can, people are probably gonna be grieving. So I haven't asked any of my British friends. I don't have that many British friends. I have like a few, maybe 10, maybe. Mother Tucker,
Mother Tucker, Jimmy,
Jamie from Club Kids,
Andrew.
Andrew from Club Kids, the Vivian. Okay, I'm not gonna name all my British friends, but not that I don't have that many.
What's
But
the name? Tilda Tamor. Tamer.
oh,
Bitch,
Tamer,
your British
yeah,
friend.
Tamer. Well, Tilda Swinton,
But I said Tamar. None of that ring a bell, bitch.
Tambourine.
That's like, oh God.
But so I do want to be respectful of their sadness, but I also don't want to act like I'm torn up because I'm not torn up. But also I have less contextual. I have less context for the Queen than they do. Clearly,
Contextual.
I mean, she moved out of Buckingham Palace a while back.
Yeah, and when I saw the headline that she was, I didn't think anything of it. They were like, "Oh yeah, the queen is she's ill, and like the doctors are like watching over her." And bitch, literally the next day, they're like, "Bitch, she dead." I was like, "Oh damn." Well, I think she just had just like a routine like cold or something like that. It wasn't like anything crazy. She just had like a cold or something.
I don't think you can die from. I don't think it was. She probably. I mean, they probably aren't updating everyone on the queen's health every second of the way. She's probably been ill for a while, and they just didn't tell anyone.
I think the older you are, smaller things like that are more dangerous for you. Like the older you are, a common cold for you and me is not the same as a common cold for my 89-year-old grandmother. You know what I mean?
I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
That's true.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I don't say you're arguing. I'm just saying it's true.
But I mean, I think most people who pass away in older age are usually passing away from something significant or some underlying or usually or oftentimes quite often heart failure. You know, heart failure is like the number one killer in the world.
Mm-hmm.
In the whole world, heart disease is the number one killer. Isn't that wild? Actually, it's not wild because it's pumping the blood throughout your whole body. It is the generator for your body.
Talks about it a lot on The View. That was what she had a heart scare and she became a really big Star Jones, and she became a really big proponent of people like taking care of like their heart health and making sure, especially for women, because they're big in numbers for women for whatever reason, and she was a very big champion of that.
How long do you want to live? How long is too long? How long do you like? All right, this is enough.
I want to live when I can't do anything for myself. I'm good. Like when I can't like eat my own food, or when I have to like bedridden.
What if you can't eat your own food next year? What if something happens? You can't eat your own food next year? Are you ready to die?
With age, I'm talking about with age. So it's like with age. Like if I'm like if the older I get and I can't like do anything for myself, I would feel so bad if people had to like wait on me all the time.
But where does the age and ability cross over? Like if you lose all your functions at 50, is that old enough? 60, is that old enough? 70?
I think it's maybe like 75. But like I've seen like again like my grandmother, she's 89 years old and she can cook her own food. She's fine. Like I'm like I'll be content with that for sure.
What, but I'm talking about. I'm just wondering where you said 75 is around. So if you were like 60 and you lost a lot of your
not 60. I would say like 80, 85. If I like lost most of my functions like 80, around the 80 age, I would be like, all right, you know what? It's been a good run. Also, I'm 32 now. I'm just thinking about like how the world is gonna be so different in like. By when I'm that age, like maybe I mean I don't know. With advancements in technology, there's probably some next year. I don't know. There's like so many variables.
I think that it's easy to say when you're 32. You know what I mean? But for example, I have a mom who can't live alone and needs help to do most things, and she doesn't want to die. She's not like, I had a good run. My mom will be 60 in October, and I'm sure that my mom is still, has a very strong will to live, even though she has a very limited mobility and can't do a whole lot of stuff for herself. So a lot of young people say, a lot of people like, well, if I'm this old, when I can't do this, I just won't want to do anything. But when you're there, you'll probably still be like, I still got life to live. I still got stuff I want to do. You know what I mean?
I hope I'm there, but I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. But I'm just basing it off. I'm just assuming, basing off of a lot of people who, a lot of times, people who end up having like issues later in life with their health, it's because like one thing happens and then your body is just so old it's hard to recover. So like, thank God your grandma never fell and hit her hip. But she fell
recently. God, she fell 2 years ago, and she fell in her kitchen in her house, and
she broke her hip. That's really tough.
She didn't break her hip, but she fell, and then she was there for a while, and my dad discovered her. That's why they moved her to my mom's house. But she's fall. That's why we don't let her live by herself anymore.
But like a fall can really drastically change someone's life. I mean, like your mental state, your everything. Just the tiniest things can render you a lot less mobile than you were beforehand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
but you still got wisdom and life and joy. You can still laugh and smile and all that kinds of stuff, you know.
Well, this was a very, I've heard this talk. Again, rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth II. Also, really quick, like his mom has just passed away, but he has like all these procedural things that he has to do to take over the throne. I'm like, he can't even probably like properly process his mom dying. He has to like get it together and like be a figurehead for the United Kingdom. It's probably such a wild thing.
This is what every monarch has to do when they assume the throne, because they all assume the throne when someone dies. I mean, Queen Elizabeth did this in her 20s.
Yeah, it's wild.
And this man is in his 70s. Imagine doing this in your 20s, and you are becoming the Queen of England.
The Queen of England, darling. Anyway, Roberta, you have a good rest of your night, and we'll chat soon.
All right, be well.
Bye.